Hello, everybody. I'm Robin, the head of this group and a complete dingbat at times. So let's see. Okay, I'm sharing to this group. So now this is right. I just went live on my personal page. I'm seeing all these people pop up and I'm like, wait a second. These people are not in my group. There are men here. Like, how is this happening? I know they're not in the group. So, oh my God. Anyway, I am now here and I am so sorry for those of you who have been waiting or, whatever, we're just waiting to catch this. So I am here and I'm going to start over and go into everything about this workshop. So I am so elated to be here. I have been waiting all week long the past couple of weeks to be able to share all of this message with you and this content with you to help you build a strong foundation for your personal brand and business for success in 2021, going from stuck to unstoppable. So you know how whenever you join the group, I have those 3 questions for you to answer. And the first one is, what's the biggest challenge you experience related to your personal brand? Well, your personal brand, those answers to those questions are key for me to get an idea of who's in the group and how I can serve you more. And some of those questions, or some of the answers to that number 1 question are fear, not able to make decisions, not being able to niche down, not knowing who your ideal audience is. And those questions are so key for finding that clarity around your brand messaging, finding clarity around, who your audience is and who you're creating content for and how you're going to create content that's going to really resonate with them to convert them to clients. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is really building that brand messaging, inventory your brand messaging so that you can really connect and resonate with your ideal audience and convert them not only to raving fans, but to clients who purchase from you so they become a revenue source for you. All right, so let's start with clarity, because without clarity, we cannot formulate brand messaging that's going to resonate or going to attract our ideal audience. So when we talk about clarity related to brand messaging or personal branding, we are talking about not only identifying what it is we do, but who we do it for. Clarity is a two-way street. So we have internal clarity and external clarity. That internal clarity is your niche. It's your ideal audience. It is, what you do, the problem you solve for people, how you solve it, and who you solve it for, and your why. Your why is really important. When we talk about really identifying your niche, we're talking about marrying, or I like to use a Venn diagram as an example. So if you have a Venn diagram, it's where these 3 things meet, where they merge, there's a marriage between the 3 of them. So your values, your visions, and your passions. Your values, visions, and passions, where they align is where your energy should be spent. It's where you should be focusing, because that's where your power is going to come from. That's where what you're meant to be doing. That's where you're meant to be serving. So each and every one of us has a calling. We've all been given a unique gift that is just waiting for us to identify it and then start using it. And through that gift, we are also called to serve a certain population. And those people are just sitting there waiting for us to come out and play. They're waiting for us to show up and tell them that we're here to solve that problem that they have. And that is where your brand messaging comes in. So once you are clear internally on what it is you do and who you serve, so what your niche is and who your ideal audience is, or your ICA, your ideal client avatar, once you identify those 2 things, you'll have internal clarity. As you start to develop that internal clarity, you are going to have more confidence. When you have more confidence, then your audience is going to have more confidence in you. But most importantly, when you have more confidence, you're going to trust yourself more. And then what's going to happen? As you trust yourself more and you're more secure and confident in the message that you put out, the more your ideal audience is going to be clear and confident and trust you. So key. So very, very key, because we know that buying practices are based on trust. Trust determines whether or not people buy from you. So people buy personalities, we like to say. They don't buy products and services. But that's all based on the know, love, and trust factor. So if you are not building that through your messaging, then you're not going to be able to convert your clients. So again, clarity is a two-way street. You have to be 100% clear, and then your audience has to be 100% clear. And when that clarity is achieved, then you will start having trust from your audience to convert them to clients. All right, so I talked a little bit about the niche. When we're talking about that, I really want you to make a list of, and you can do this as like a pie chart, you can do this as a just 3 columns, but make a list and see where your values, visions, and passions align. And again, there's gonna be somewhere on those 3 lists that there's the same thing. There's something that can be linked together, and that's where you should be putting your focus and your energy. It's amazing how once we find that, you, sorry, things keep coming up on my phone and it's distracting me, so I had to get rid of it. But when you really find your niche, that's when clarity is going to start pouring into you. Now, I know that a lot of you are multi-passionate, and I am too, and it makes it really hard sometimes to be able to focus, solely on 1 or 2 things. And all right, you guys, I'm looking to see here if I am actually live in the group. I think I am. If I am live in the group, yes, I am. Okay, because I'm getting messages from people, and I wasn't sure if I was actually live or not live. So, all right, we're there. All is good, so thank you. Do me a favor though, drop a 2 in the comments if you feel totally secure with your brand messaging. Drop a 2 in the comments. I want to know who you are. If you have been struggling with clarity, struggling with your ideal audience, struggling with honing in on your niche, drop a 1. I want to know who's here that is struggling and who here has already mastered this. If you've mastered this, maybe you don't even need to be here, but I think there's always an opportunity for learning. So please stay, because I'd love to have you. But again, if you are struggling, I want to know who that is, because it's very, very common for people to struggle with making decisions in their business, having fear over, going live on camera or putting content out and really putting your brand message out into the world, because you're afraid that you're not going to resonate, or you're afraid that you're going to sound silly. A lot of those feelings come from a lack of clarity. So I really want you to focus on finding your niche and identifying your ideal audience so that your messaging can reach them. Okay, so then once we've identified those 2 things, your niche and your ideal audience, it's very important to differentiate yourself. How can you differentiate yourself? There's several ways. I mean, obviously your persona is going to be unique to you. That differentiates you straight away. But if you're not putting yourself out there, people can't identify with those differences. They're not able to see that, right? So you have to be willing to put yourself out there, number 1. Number 2, your copy and visual content. All of those things, when they are uniquely created for you and your brand and your business, they are going to start resonating with your audience. They're going to help you become recognizable and memorable. Once you're recognizable and memorable, you can become shareable, because then you've built the trust factor. So when you're differentiating, content is a big component of that. And again, it's not just your visual content, it's also your written content, your copy. It has to be clear, right? And it has to be done in a way that differentiates you from everybody else in your niche or your expertise. So as you think about differentiating, you've already done your niche, now you've done your ideal audience. What about price? Is your price the same as everybody else in your industry, or is it unique? If you have very low prices, I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably undercutting yourself, and you are probably going to end up very frustrated and burnt out, because you're doing a ton of work, you're providing a ton of value, but you're not being compensated for it. And even though, right, we're service entrepreneurs, we're We're in the entrepreneurial world because we want to serve other people. We're not here just to make money. We're here to serve other people. And if we are pouring our hearts out and serving other people and sharing our content and sharing our messages and doing all these things to help other people, and we aren't being compensated for it, at the end of the day, we end up frustrated, sad, burnt out, sometimes even angry. So it's really important. And these are all things that I hear time and time again from other entrepreneurs. So it's really, really important that you make sure that when you are establishing your pricing, you're establishing your pricing in a way that is going to resonate with your ideal audience. Can they see the value you're providing? Do they see your services as valuable to them? You have to communicate that problem you're going to solve for them in order for them to see your value. Once they see your value, they're going to be ready and willing to pay for that, right? Because they know they need it. They know that you're going to solve their problems and make them the hero of their own story, their own journey. So make sure that you're communicating that effectively. And then, like I said, if you have the lowest price, what's going to end up happening is the people that didn't want to work with those people, the people that other people didn't want to work with, I said it backwards, the people that other people didn't want to work with because they weren't going to pay their prices, they're going to come to you. And so if nobody else wanted these people as clients because they were, I'm going to use air quotes, cheap, then you're going to get stuck with those people and they're not going to appreciate the value you're providing. So be cautious of that. And then on the flip side of that, think about if you are the highest priced in your niche, in your area of expertise, where is that going to place you? Is it going to place you as unlimited or, let's see, that's not the right word, but as inaccessible? Or is it going to place you as, I want that, because that's the highest price, it must be the best. So you really have to evaluate what's going on in your industry, what's going on in your niche and area of expertise, and you have to do a comparison of pricing. I know it's hard, and we don't like to do that, but you do have to evaluate, like, what is everybody else charging and where do I want to fall into place? Because you don't want to be seen as the lowest and that person that's going to serve everybody. And you also don't want to limit yourself to the number of clients that you can get because your price is too high. But on the flip side of that, the higher your price is, the fewer clients you have to take on. So you really have to decide where you want to be. Okay, so that's another way to differentiate yourself is pricing. And then location. What about your location? How many people, if you work locally, if you serve people in person and you work locally, how many people are doing the same thing you're doing? You really have to know how to differentiate yourself from all of them if you are limited to working in your specific geographical area. Now, if you are a virtual business, the sky's the limit. But you need to make sure people know that, because if you have on your website and on your social media profile that you live in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, where I live, then people are going to assume you only serve those people. So you need to make sure that it's clear that if you are an online business coach, or an online shop, you have to make sure that everybody identifies with that fact, that you can serve them no matter where they live. Because you don't want to limit yourself to your geographical location if you don't have to. Now, with all the technology and after experiencing 2020 and knowing how much we can do virtually, I encourage you, see about that. See if you can convert your business to either being all online or going from an in-person business to doing online business as well, just because it increases your resources for attracting more clients. Okay, so we talked a little bit about content. Now let's talk a little bit more, because I mentioned that it's both your visual and your written content, right? So when we talk about your visual content, number one, you have to be present. I want you to be front and center on the homepage of your website, a photograph or a video of you. And I also want you to have one of those two things, if not both, on your about page, so that people can really, really quickly get to know, love, and trust you. Because once they see who you are and they hear your voice and they start getting a feel for your personality, they're going to accept you. They're going to want to work with you so much faster. So That's key. And then whatever that headshot is on your homepage, make sure that that image or something very similar is on your profile pictures for any other business page that you have. Speaking of business pages, if you don't have business pages, you want to make sure you do that. We'll talk a little bit more about that on Wednesday, but you don't want to be running a business from your personal page, because when you do that, when you're running a business from your personal page, you're not going to have the same reach as you would if you were doing business pages. So make sure you do that. But anyway, I digress, of course. So back to those visuals, make sure that that headshot picture is the same across all of your platforms so that people can easily recognize you. If you have a picture on your website, but it is not even similar to the pictures that you have as profile pictures, it's going to confuse people, especially if your social media handles are not the same as your business name. So make sure, or your first name. So make sure that you are visible 100%. People can see who you are and really connect with you from a visual perspective. So important. Let's see, you want that brand messaging to be cohesive. So this is your content again. So from your website to your social media platforms, it has to be cohesive. So when we're talking about cohesive, it's that brand messaging, it's the copy, it's the content that you're posting, it's how you're telling people what you do, it's how you're telling people everything about your business, the problem you solve, and how you're educating them or inspiring them or entertaining them. It has to be cohesive across all of your platforms. And again, it's all about that recognizability and becoming memorable once you have become recognizable. And then you want to be consistent. So the same thing, when we think of cohesive, we think of not only the content, not only the messaging, but also those visuals. And are your brand colors being representative cohesively across all of your platforms? Are your images being represented cohesively? Does it flow like a puzzle? Just, if you think about that, do all of the pieces fit together to show who you are? Make sure that's cohesive. And then consistent is, again, in that messaging. Are you communicating on a regular basis with your audience? Are you showing up? Are you being present? And when I say that, I don't mean you have to be there every single day and putting out content every single day. But what you want to do is make sure that when you do show up, you show up consistently. So maybe it's 3 times a week, the same days of the week. Maybe it's 5 times a week, or maybe it's only 1 time a week, but it is but you're there for them. And when you are there for them consistently, they're going to start to trust you, and you'll become recognizable in the content that you're putting out. They'll start to see you as the expert that you really and truly are in your niche and your area of expertise. And then also be consistent with the visuals. It's important to show up visually as well as written, and you want to show up with a consistent message. Again, you don't want to say that you are, a business coach for female entrepreneurs on your website, but then on social media, you are creating content that is attracting male entrepreneurs. So you want to be consistent so that people can really understand who you serve, what you do, and how you do it, so that you really resonate with them and build those relationships. I'm going to give you a quick example. Back to talking about niche and creating content for your niche. So a friend of mine is a business coach for intuitive female entrepreneurs. She has niched down that specifically. Did you know that intuitives are only 25% of the population? So you can learn more about that in Thursday's episode of the Second Phase podcast, because I interviewed Jessica that day, or my interview with Jessica will air on, I think, Thursday or Friday. But anyway, it's an incredible episode. You'll love it. But she is such a great example. And I called her out on this during the interview because she really defined her niche. Intuitives are only 25% of the population, and then she's only working with women. So she really niched down, right? And so many people are scared to do that because they're afraid they're going to lose the opportunity to make more money, have more clients. But here's the key. When you niche down, you are talking to a specific audience. And when you're talking to a specific audience, you're more likely to convert them to clients because they understand that you are there specifically for them. So your content, that messaging that you're putting out, has to resonate with those people that you want to work with. So we can use me as an example. I work with female entrepreneurs who are starting their second phase. So they're women who are on that journey of, they were in corporate, they were a stay-at-home mom, whatever the case may be. But they're starting something new. They're starting a second journey. They're starting their second phase. So, I could say that that's who, that I work with, all female entrepreneurs, but I'm not working with a 20-something who is starting an entrepreneurship. I'm working with those women, primarily Gen X, who have had this career and now all of a sudden they want to follow their passion. They want to do something new to really make a difference and feel more fulfilled. And so, I've really defined that, and I know so much about my ideal audience that I have a name for her. Her name is Jules. And when I am creating content, I'm thinking to myself, what would Jules say? Or how would Jules respond to this? Or would this resonate with Jules? And that is how specific you have to get. So when you're creating your content, you are specific. You want to know exactly who you're talking to, and you want to be able to tell them exactly what they need to hear so that they know that you are there for them. Okay. How many of you drop a 5 in the comments if this message resonated with you? And even if you're not here live, some of you may be watching the replay. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you hashtag replay so I know who was here and who wasn't. At the end of the week, I'm going to be giving away a prize. I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but I am going to be giving away a prize for the person that was here for all of the workshops, all 3 of them. So whoever was here live for all 3 workshops, and whoever engages the most, that person is going to get a prize. So I'm not sure yet what that prize is going to be. I'm still thinking of something creative. But anyway, so if you are here and watching live, put a 5 in the comments because I want to see who is watching, and I want to see if this information got you excited, if this information is giving you a sense of clarity on what you need to do to create brand messaging and how to create it so that it really resonates with your ideal audience. So let me know. And I'm starting to see comments come in. Yes, we have 5s. Yay, yay, yay. This is awesome. Great, great. All right, keep those comments coming, guys, because that helps me know if I'm doing okay, and if I'm getting my message across too. Okay, so now if you'll bear with me for just a few minutes, I have something really, really super exciting to tell you. I am launching this week. This is brand new, hot off the press. I am launching the Build a Brand and Business coaching program. So I have created a 6-month coaching program. And I want to invite all of you into my coaching program if you're ready for that. This is going to be very, very customized, very, very specific. And it's 6 months because it's so much work, but not work in a bad way. I know that so many female entrepreneurs, because the women that I have been coaching and the women that I have been working with, even for branding photography, so many people are overwhelmed and they're frustrated because it's taking them forever to reach their audience. It's taking them forever to build that brand and business that they have been dreaming of doing. And especially if you have been in corporate and you are not used to doing all of the digital and online marketing things that have to be done to build a business effectively and successfully, it's so overwhelming and it can take a very long time. So I want to tell you about the coaching program. This may be for you and it may not be for you. And if it's not for you, that's fine. I get it. I totally understand. I want you to stay for the next couple of days for the workshop because I'm going to be putting out such great information that I really think it could transform your business. Even if you don't work with me as your coach, just being here in the workshop, you're going to get enough information that you can go forth and really start implementing changes in your business to start resonating with your ideal audience. So please come back tomorrow, come back Wednesday, and just be here, because I think you're going to learn so much. But back to the coaching program, I just want to tell you guys about this because I'm so super excited about it, and I think it's going to change a lot of people's lives, because building a business can be totally overwhelming, especially if you don't know where to start. And if we don't lay the foundation for our business first, it's not going to grow and it's not going to succeed. We can't start marketing before we have a brand. Your brand, you have to have your brand, then you have to have branding, which is telling the story of your brand, communicating that. That's your marketing component. It's not your brand identity. Your brand identity is your logo and your color palette and your typography, but your brand is what's going to lead you to the ability to do branding, which accompanies your marketing. It's communicating your story. It's telling the world about you and about what you can do for them, how you can make them the hero of their journey. So in this program, we are going to dive so deep into finding your niche, finding that clarity and how to differentiate yourself, really perfecting your brand messaging, identifying those platforms where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, where you can create content and really resonate with your ideal audience. Where are they hanging out? Very important to know, because you do not want to spin your wheels and just constantly be creating content and doing all these things and then become exhausted and burnt out. And it happens. I see it time and time again. We're going to also work on mindset. I hear so many people say, and I said this at the very beginning, they have fear, they have self-doubt, that imposter syndrome, comparisonitis, all those things creep in. And as they do, we hold ourselves back. We prevent ourselves from becoming the brand and business that we're really meant to be. So we're going to dive deep into all of that, so you don't have those obstacles hanging over you and weighing you down anymore. We're going to work on confidence and so many more things. We're also going to work on all of those unique marketing tactics that people often don't know about when they're starting their second phase. Pinterest marketing, email marketing. We're going to talk about social media market. We're going to dive into your website. If you don't have a website, that's another conversation, because my team and I actually do have a program where we help people start from ground zero or even to rebrand completely, but that involves website design, copy, and stuff like that. But in this program, we'll take a look at that copy on your website, and we'll take a look at your SEO. We'll learn how to blog effectively so that you can keep people on your website and increase your Google ranks so that more people can find your website, more people are going to find you and connect with you and want to hire you based on the copy and information that you're presenting on your website. We'll talk about creating lead magnets, and by the time the 6 months is over, we'll have a really great lead magnet that's going to pull in your audience to get them on your email list so that you can do direct marketing to them via email. There's so many things that so many people just aren't sure about or don't know about or don't have the confidence to start dabbling in or to start building that foundation the way it's most effective. So that is the 6-month program, and we are going to, in that program, dive into every single one of those things. And I'm just looking at my notes because I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. The other thing we're going to talk about is sales, and how you can feel confident knowing that you are creating content and messaging, telling everyone how you're going to serve them. You don't need to feel salesy or sleazy or phony or any of those other phrases that I've heard people talk about and say whenever they talk about selling. I mean, I'm hoping I don't sound sleazy here. And the reason I don't is because I am so passionate about helping female entrepreneurs build businesses and brands for success. So when you're coming from a place of service, you don't have to feel that way. But we're going to dive deep into that as well in the 6-month time frame. And we're going to do also systems and content, as well as I'll give you templates for all of these things. And the program in and of itself, its weight is gold. There's so much detail. Now, if you're thinking, 6 months with this woman? we meet every other week because there are so many action items that I'm going to be your accountability partner. I am going to hold your hand. I'm going to be with you step by step, piece by piece to build this. I'll be teaching you and coaching you and mentoring you. But I think one of the most important things is that accountability component. I will be there for you to make sure you are taking intentional action over the course of those 6 months. So we'll meet bi-weekly so that you have enough time to implement all of these things without feeling stressed, overwhelmed, frustrated. I will be available to you every day by email. You can hop in my email box anytime you need me and I will get back to you. So we will do this all together so that you don't have to feel frustrated, overwhelmed, and all of those negative things that can sometimes prevent us from moving forward and building that strong foundation for long-term brand success. Okay, so I'm sure you're dying to know what the price of this is. And I think that I have priced this extremely reasonable, but the price is $5,500. Now, I am customizing this so that it's very time intensive, and I am giving you my heart and soul during this 6-month time frame. So I want you to know that I'm limiting the number of people I'm taking because I just can't take everybody for this if I'm going to give all that I want to give to make sure that you succeed. So if you are interested in this program, the first 5 people that register for the program get $500 off. So $500 off, that means $5,000. You get all of that for 6 months. You get me in your back pocket for 6 months, helping you not only build a business and brand, but also have the mindset that you need to build that brand successfully, but then to have long-term success so that you can believe in yourself and communicate confidently and effectively to build that know, love, and trust factor. So if you are interested in this program, I'm going to tell you that the application is on my website. And I have to look at the URL because it's long, but it's at my website, therobingraham.com/brand and business coach. So it's the Robin Graham, TheRobyngraham, therobingraham.com/brand and business coach. So I will put that in the comments after the live. The live will be up. If you want to watch the replay to take notes, I intentionally did not do slides today because I wanted to just be talking and just have this be somewhat more relaxed than, going through a slide presentation. It's last week, I think I did 4 speaking engagements where, I was working off of slides and everything else. And I just wanted this to be you and I connecting. So if you want to listen to the replay, you can listen to the replay. If you're on my email list, you'll also receive the link. I'll post it on YouTube later today, and you can have access to it on YouTube and watch it there as well. If for some reason you can't find the replay on Facebook, but the replay will be available if you're interested in watching that, or if you came in late. Again, I have to apologize. I went live on my personal page first instead of the group. I have no idea how that happened because I was in the group, but it now gives you an option. So somehow I messed that up. So anyway, just par for the course for me and my luck and everything else related to technology. So, all right, whether or not you want to work with me, whether or not I am the coach for you, it doesn't matter. I want you to come back tomorrow and Wednesday because I think that you're going to learn so much information that will help you transform your business. So tomorrow we will be talking about going from crickets to traction, how to kickstart that engagement with your brand and your business. And why do we care about engagement? Because engagement is how you're going to build relationships, and building relationships is what is so key to building that trust factor, which is going to convert to clients so that you have a profitable business. All right, you guys, I'm so grateful you were here today. I promised this would only be 30 to 45 minutes. Tomorrow will probably be a little bit shorter. So if you're trying to schedule your day around this tomorrow, it will probably be a little bit shorter. But I thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to teach you more tomorrow. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I will be checking the comments throughout the day, and I will get back to you. Let's see. Just making sure there aren't any questions. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we're good. And listen, you know, I have to say, I did say earlier that I typically don't work with like younger people. I work with more people more in their second phase. That's not to say if there is someone that's younger and they are wanting to create an entrepreneurial journey, wanting to start a business, need brand help, I am available. I don't limit myself to that as long as you're, you know, starting a second phase, you're in that trajectory for a second phase, your entrepreneurial journey. And I have had a couple of clients who were, I mean, incredible 20-something-year-olds who were completely transitioning out of these huge like Wall Street jobs to start another business because they weren't fulfilled there and they wanted to do something that really served other people more and had more impact on the world and society. So I want to just be clear about that. As long as it's a second phase, it's good. It's all good as long as we're in the second phase. So, all right, with that, guys, I am heading out. I hope you have an incredible day. Don't forget to smile and put out nothing but good in the world. Bye.